So he's basically saying that the PDC is more like Sports Entertainment WWE. Would you agree with that? Or is it a bit golf and snooker?
When have you ever seen cheerleaders at the golf?
Yeah, good point.
The presentation, if you're going to present things as something, then that's what it is.
Welcome, everybody, to the Mission Darts Podcast, episode 38. Matt, you're looking a little bit tanned. Hair's been cut. Beard's been trimmed. Is this all for the podcast?
No, I'm going to TalkSport today. So, I've just got a collar on. So every time I go to do it, I always wear, even if it's just a polo shirt, I always wear a collar whenever I go.
Nice. Is it peachy colour, that? Or is it a bit pinky? I can't quite tell.
It's salmon, isn't it? A bit salmon.
Salmon. Love that. Salmon. Brilliant. But
salmon.
Yeah, you're looking well. I'm surprisingly looking okay this morning, considering what happened last night. So,
that's self-assessment, that is, Andy. I'm not sure I'd do that.
Well, just when I tell you what happened, I just nipped down Tesco, and they're not sponsoring the podcast, by the way. Just mentioned it. Got a couple of beers, IPAs, I like them. 3.8%. I thought, I can have a few of them, no problem at all. Finished work last night, sat down, couple of beers. I thought, feeling a bit squiffy here. Oh, yeah. I hadn't looked at the can properly, had I? It wasn't a 3, it was a 9. It was 9%. And I've drunk 2 of them thinking, it's a session lager. Next minute, I'm like, bloody, I feel a bit like, yeah. So I drunk a couple of 9%ers last night, like the old special brew. That used to be 9%. Oh, what you got there? Not put some Mountain Dew back, have you?
Oh,
cold blast.
I had too much of that. Like, I don't think I can drink that again for a while. Like, it was a disgusting amount. Like, I had it with my breakfast, my lunch, my dinner, in between sessions. And the thing is, it's not good in any way, shape, or form. Like, I don't know how I didn't become radioactive. Like, it was really, really bad. Oh
yeah. I've had one of your breakfasts today, Matt, as well. I've had a protein bread. I don't know. I'm not going to the gym or anything. Don't get excited. But I had an omelette and I put ham in it and avocado and cheese. And I thought protein. Be perfect for going to the gym now, but I'm not doing. Are you going to the gym today?
I'm probably going back today. I haven't been since. So I've had a couple of weeks off while I've been obviously in Vegas. And then, my life during April was ridiculous. Like,
everyone feels sorry for you, Matt. Everyone feels really sorry that you had to go to Vegas to WrestleMania.
Yeah, but it wasn't just that, was it? It was Rate Maioki, it was commentary, it was Portsmouth, it was all the other bits. I've literally, I fell asleep the other day at 1:00 in the afternoon. Like, I've took on too much.
Your age. I took up with your mate.
It's not so. I think the age isn't the problem yet. It's the workload. Like, I just took too much on. Like, my problem is, I struggled to say no. So whenever you're on like an increase in things, like, I was doing well before. I was doing quite well, but right now, with the boom in darts and everything that's going on, it's like everyone wants you for something, whether it's a booking to go talk about this or talk about that, and with the Premier League being on and things and all these different things. And then, like I said, not only do I do the stuff that you see in front of camera, there's an awful lot of jobs I do behind the scenes, off camera.
Yeah, we both do coaching in the evening, Matt, and we know that's gone mad, hasn't it, as well?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be the next Luke Littler. They've seen the £1 million and thought, my son can play a bit of darts. Let's get him some coaching. Can I touch on that? I want your opinion. I love getting your opinion on stuff like this. Is that going to mess the rankings? If somebody wins £1 million, surely they go to number 1 or 2 pretty much. Do they straight away? Because I think Humphreys is on 1 point something now. So you could go from like 20th in the world to world number 1, but then potentially in 2 years' time, when you're defending that, you go out first round, you drop off the face of a cliff. I'm a bit worried about it.
What was it now? 5 and 2, weren't it? So was it going to 1.5 or 1 and 4?
1 and 4, I think. Yeah, that's massive, isn't it? compared to everything else.
Not overly.
No?
I think you're just getting baffled by numbers because the percentage is still the same. 5 and 2.
Yeah, I guess I guess from in my head, I'm thinking of a lower ranked player wins it. Like it wouldn't make much difference to the top 5 if one of them win it because they're consistently winning stuff. But if an 18th in the world wins it, he goes from 300,000 to 1.3 million, goes to number 1 or 2 in the world. Then he continues his consistent run, but then in 2 years' time, when that comes off, he goes from 2 to he almost does what Mike Smith's done, goes from 2 to 20 something. It's so much more lucrative than all the other events. Does that make it a little bit unfair? I don't know.
I think it should be though. You need that event, don't you? You know. If you don't have an event that means that much to the players, you don't have an event that means that much to the fans. There's a reason I just spent 10 grand to go to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Because it's WrestleMania. If WrestleMania was no bigger than Monday Night Raw, I ain't going. Yeah. Because I can see Raw 52 weeks a year and I can wait till it's more convenient for me. I'm not going to be traveling to Las Vegas to do that. So, and I'm certainly not going to be spending the money that we spent because it's that much bigger and it's that much bigger. Everybody benefits. Like the wrestlers probably get more for that one event than they do for the rest of the year for that one event because it's that much bigger. So I think if you don't have that big £1 million event, how do you differentiate that from the UK Open?
Yeah, I guess it's just the difference, isn't it? The UK Open would be 100 grand.
120 now, I think. It was 110.
It's a big difference, isn't it? Big. It's like so in effect, if you win the Worlds, that's like winning 8 UK Opens. That's a big jump. That's a big old jump. Anyway,
but actually, the UK Open is probably not the best example. The Grand Slam of darts. We'll go with the Grand Slam because the UK Open sold in a caravan park where you buy a holiday package.
Right.
Let's use the Grand Slam. Now, the Grand Slam is not as important as the Worlds because of the prize money. It's 150, 120 grand?
Yeah.
To the winner. And like you say, 8 times the world. But can you sell tickets to the Grand Slam of darts on a Monday night?
It's tough, isn't it?
You don't. It's half empty. Maybe quarter full at times. However, you can sell a sellout crowd on a Monday afternoon for the World Championships and then again at night.
Yeah.
19 nights. You can do that. Afternoon, evening. Sell out crowds to the point where there's not even enough tickets to meet the demand of the people that want to fill those slots. Now, you don't get that if the event doesn't mean what it does. So, yeah, it has to be skew-whiffed. It has to be a big event. You know, there has to be a Super Bowl. There has to be a WrestleMania. There has to be a big payoff. And does it suit everybody? No. But if it wasn't like that, if it didn't have that jeopardy, if it didn't have that importance, so it wasn't as big and as big a point, you're not going to sell the tickets you do. You're not going to have the broadcast interest you do. You're not going to have the sponsorship interest that you do, which means nothing exists.
And fair play to the PDC because what they've done about it. I played golf at the weekend, and the guys I'm teeing it up with, first thing they're like, "Oh, aren't you the darts guy?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, £1 million, £1 million." I'm like, "Yeah, I know, mate." And that's all they wanted to talk about. I was like, "Oh, do you play?" "No, I don't play. No, just watch it at Christmas. That's all." But £1 million, and I'm like, "Wow, how do you? If you're not in the darts world, how do you even know that? You know that because the PDC have done a good job of promoting the fact we're going to give £1 million to the winner. So, great bit of PR. That really, really good. Matt, we've got to talk about a really fantastic, our highest ranked mission player. We finally launched his darts this week. Mike Dedeker. Darts are out. Silver and black ones. I think they're almost sold out already. They might even be, by the time you're listening to or watching this, they might already be sold out. I knew the price they were going to be, and we couldn't say it in advance, but everybody's talking about it. You can buy a player ranked 21 currently in the world. He's going to get higher than that. We know that. They're $39.95, Matt. Can you find me another top player in the world where you can buy his darts for $39.95? How we've pulled that off, I don't know. I think it's unbelievable value. And I can see why they're sold out. You know, it's not a dart for me. It's a long dart. It doesn't suit me. But certainly if you thought, oh, I wonder what they're like. 40 quid, I'll have a bit of that. You know? What do you think?
I think that's... See, I've got to be very careful what I say here, actually. I think that's probably our strongest point as a brand. Price point. I think we get price point right very often. There's been maybe, I suppose, I'm going to say it, bugger it. Let's go with it. It can always be edited. And I suppose the one thing I can never really lose is that authenticity. Okay, so let's do it. I think 99% of the time we get our prices bang on, or we're too cheap at times. But I think with that, I think sometimes because we're so good at value, sometimes it makes it look wrong, if you know what I mean. I'll bring up a classic case. We brought out a product launch within the last 12 months where we had great value darts, amazing value darts. But we brought out a player's dart, and that player's dart was very similar to one of the darts we brought out, but the other dart was actually better. And because it wasn't attached to a player, it went out cheaper. So we ended up with a really quality-looking cheap dart, but like a really good dart. And then the player's dart was more expensive, and it looked, because the comparison side by side, it made the player's dart look expensive because it looked very similar. So I think because we're such good value, it actually made something that was probably regular value, because it probably was on price point. When you look at it, you go, that is the value of that dart. But because we're so good value in other areas, it made it look bad.
Yeah, but I think the listeners and viewers will be clever enough to know that a player's dart usually has a premium attached to it because they know the player's getting paid at the end of the day. That's, you know, so I take your point, and it's an honest point, and it's an authentic point. I just think those darts at that price are just unbelievable value. I can see why they've sold out. I can see why people want to try them. They're not for everybody, just like every dart isn't. You know, I didn't think your dart was for me, but yeah, I threw it in a video we did, and actually I got on it well. I hold it different to you, and you can throw my darts. I know you can. So I just thought a brilliant launch, because it's not just about the darts, by the way. He's got cabinets and shit. I think his shirt's really smart. I mean, I really do mean that. I think his shirt is super smart. I just like the black and the gold colours on there. But also sorts of things in his range. So, yeah, I wanted to touch on that. Launched this week, done absolutely brilliant. But something else that's launched this week that's not a product.
Oh, before you do that,
watching this,
before you do that, I just want to point out that if Mike Gedecker's darts are sold out, don't you worry, because you can always go get yourself a set of the new Matt Edgar darts. They'll be available right now on the website as well. Look at those.
Are they? Are they not sold out? Are you sure?
No, they've been restocked. They've been restocked.
Oh, they're restocked.
So they did sell out. They've been restocked. Yeah. And we've got the Edgar TV flights on there, you know, to represent.
Yeah.
You know,
Matt,
if you are
don't get the kite
this,
flights with them. You don't get the kite flights with them.
Yeah,
so
well,
let's just put that out there.
They're not that. They come with the Mission Saber shafts, and look at that. Look at the colours. Beautiful.
Yeah. So our audio listeners now are going, thanks for that, Matt. Yeah, you're describing it beautifully, but I have no idea what it looks like. So you'll have to check it out on
the front, this coating on the back.
Moving on to something else that you can see that launched this week.
Lovely central balance.
He's still going. Right. Something else that launched this week. If you haven't checked it out, please go to the main channel. The main 21. Channel. We have launched
25 grams.
Matt, will you shut up now? I wish I had the button to mute him. The home hockeys, Matt. Can we talk about the home hockeys, please? It's out this week. If you haven't seen it, please go to the main channel and check out the home hockey from Wednesday night. The video is unbelievable. One of my favorite we've ever done. There he is. He's showing the standard flights that you get with the darts there. He's showing that. Yeah, thanks for that, Matt. Yeah, we've launched a new little mini series on a Wednesday. Rate My Hockey is finished for the next few weeks. I know you're sad about that, but it's coming back, so that's great. But we've got some dartboards in unusual places, and that is launched now and came out Wednesday this week. So please do go and check that out. Matt, what do you have to say about
that? Okay. I think this can be an enjoyable series. And do you know what? If anything, I think it worries me. And I think what worries me about it is I think we're now going to get flooded at youtube@missiondarts.com email address. I think we're going to get a lot of emails of people saying, come to my house. Come look at this. Come look at my practice room. Come look at this. Because there's so many out there. I see them on TikTok all the time. I see them on all the groups that I'm a part of. There's so many people that have done these conversions. And I think we're going to get a lot of people want to show them off. You don't build something like that and not want to show it off. So I think we're going to see some real interesting places over the next year. But also great, because for us, one of our hardest things to do is work out an itinerary for a plan. So when we go to do Rate My Hockey, sometimes we've got to travel an hour between venues. You know, we're looking at, we're doing over 1,000 miles a week. We're doing all. Well, I think now with this, and let's pull back the curtain. Right over here, I have my whiteboard. On my whiteboard is all my ideas, literally written on the board. Yep. And as we do them, I rub them off. And on there also is we want to go and show you our professional players' practice rooms. That'll be on the main channel. There's something to go subscribe for. Where do players practice on a daily basis? What does it look like? We're going to go show you. Now, when we look at that as an option, go to our players' houses. When we look at the option of man caves and converted rooms and barns, when we look at the option of Rate My Hockey, that means we have more scope to do more trips and condense the traveling, which means more episodes and more shows for people. So we can make the most out of a trip now, where instead of going on a trip and maybe getting 8 episodes of something and doing a whole week and 1,000 miles, we might be able to do 500 miles and go, right, well, we'll get 3 Rate My Hockeys, 2 home hockeys and a players. And
I could walk 500 miles, and I could walk 500 more.
You couldn't. I've seen you. You're out of breath.
Every time I put a music reference in, you never get it. I love you so much. You're so fun. The people at home are getting that. People at home are getting that straight away. But don't forget, I'm coming to Rate Matt's studio. Now, you've seen bits of his studio on here and on other videos. I'm coming to Rate Matt's studio. I think we're doing that in about 2 or 3 weeks' time, Matt. So I'm looking forward to that.
Do you know what? I tell you now, right? So since I built this, like, it's not complete. It's like 95% done. And there's bits I need to do. But finding time to do that, as I've said already, has been a nightmare. Like April, I've been at home 2 nights. 2 nights in April. That's at home. And I've got a few busy days still to go. So I don't think I've got time before you get here to get things done, which include I'm going to give our viewers something straight away already. So my hockey is functional.
You still not finished it?
It's not finished.
Oh, Matt, that's going to rate really badly.
It's a runway.
Rate My Hockey, that's poor. Can you not get a joiner in to do it?
I'm not paying someone to do it. Like.
Why pay for somebody when you can do it yourself?
Yeah, but in the end, what's going to happen? I've got to put some slats in the middle. The wood's here. I've got to put the slats in the middle. Then I've got to put a sheet over the top, carpet it, and then put some lights on it.
Yeah. So that'll probably happen around the same time that you get the computer working. That'd be similar sort of time. Yeah.
Right. So the computer is here.
Yeah. It's not switched off because
I'm using my laptop.
How long have you been in now? 2 months?
About 3 months nearly, yeah.
Yeah, 3 months. Computer's not been turned on. Oh dear, oh dear. I don't know.
Yeah,
Right,
only
Matt,
cost a couple of grand.
Darts last weekend. Let's touch on it. Schindler again. Is he turning into a Euro specialist like Chizzy was, where like he just turns up and wins Euro tours? I think that's 4.
Yeah, he's won a few. I think he won one last year, didn't he? Switzerland, because I commentated that one. Yeah, so maybe now Germany's getting that player that they've been waiting for.
We thought it was going to be Clemens, didn't we? But that kind of fizzled out. Max Hopp back in the day kind of fizzled out. Is Schindler the one?
There's some good ones coming through. Nico Springer as well looks good. I like him.
Springer, yeah.
I like him. He looks decent. Once he stops soiling himself, he'll be all right. And by that, I've commentated on a few of his games, and he's missed like 9 match starts to beat Barney. He's missed 5 match starts in this game, 4 match. And I think the biggest problem for him, like we all have, when we first go on the tour, it's a case of I'm playing so-and-so. I could beat so-and-so. And I think once he gets a good couple of wins under his belt against the big names, and he's had 6 months of settling in, that won't happen no more. He won't miss those darts. But he's not throwing 9 match darts against Barneveld to try and win the game. He's throwing 9 match darts against Barneveld, which is why he lost.
Yes.
He's not throwing match darts against Michael Van Gerwen. It's not throwing match darts. I'm throwing against Van Gerwen. So, and I think that's slowly coming out of his game. He's getting the hang of it now. He's starting to get those wins. And I think now that's becoming a bit more of the norm. I think we're going to see him do well. But yeah, he did have it's very usual. It's very unusual you get people come on. And the ones that do that, who come on and do really well, really quickly, fall off really quickly. Become expectant. So I think in a way, it's good to have that bit first.
Talking to players in form, Mission's own Ryan Joyce. Second semi-final in a Euro. This time you remember his shirt as well. Those of you that watched the Euros might have seen Ryan in a plain black shirt, wondering why has he not got a Mission shirt on. We saw the comments going, Mission not sponsoring Ryan anymore. Has he left? All this stuff online. You know how it goes like online, don't you? No, he just forgot his shirt. He packed everything else and forgot to put his shirts in. They were still on the bed. But he remembered his Mission shirts this week and got to the semis again. So well done, Ryan, for that. He looked a bit fatigued. It was extremely hot, I believe, on the stage. Like, I've kind of wanted to ask you that before, Matt. Is there no heat limit? Is there not a point where they go, we can't, this is too hot, guys. You can't go out there? No. It's just tough. Get on with it. Yeah, but mate, it's a Sahara Desert on stage. Yeah, tough. Go and get on with it.
So while we're just talking about that, I'm just looking now at what he's got to defend this year. So he's got a Players' Championship, number 26.
Who are we talking about, Matt?
What do you mean who are we talking about? You brought the conversation up, you senile old.
Yeah, well, I thought you clearly just move on.
I'm getting worried about you. Like, right, it's all the time.
About Ryan Joyce. Okay.
You
Ryan
bring up a topic. Who are we talking about?
I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet now. Carry on.
So, Players' Championship finals, 30,000. So 30, 42. Okay, so he's got quite a bit to defend. So defending £97,000 this year. So what's he got guaranteed at the minute? Match play Europeans, World Grand Prix, that's 25. World Championship with 15, with 40. So he's guaranteed 40. So he's got 57,000 outstanding across the rest of the year, all the Euro tours that he's got, and those 4 majors that are guaranteed. Oh, plus Players' Championship finals, which will be $4,000. So you've got 53 outstanding with 5 majors.
Couple of wins. Suddenly start moving up. Yeah, could be
5.
Good year.
Yeah, okay. So where is he at the moment?
Where is he currently?
He's 26,000 off of going up. What's he offered the top 16? He's 115 off. So he's got to make up the 115 plus the 50 shortfall. So he needs 165 between now and the end of the year.
Who knows? Just win the Worlds. Just win the Worlds. That answers everything, doesn't it? But no, I mean, he can certainly do some damage. That's for sure. That is for absolute sure. So good luck to Ryan for the rest of the season. He's started in form early, very early. Now then, Matt, we're right in the middle of the podcast here. So I want to reward our hardcore fans. Hardcore, not hardcore. I don't know what that is. Sounds like a pair of trousers. Hardcore fans with a little sneak peek, a little image that I've sent Matt that hopefully by the wonders of technology is able to put on the screen. Apologies to our listeners who don't watch us on YouTube. You won't be able to see this. You'll have to go and check it out. But we've got a little bit of a sneak peek of a product that Mission are going to be bringing out, I'm going to say later this year. Something that's in development, something that I've been testing at home and myself in coaching sessions. It's a new dartboard. Matt, could you just pop it up on the screen for our viewers? That'd be amazing if you could do that. Quite happy to have it over me. Yeah, very good. Yeah, okay. We're not going to no Safari Park. It's a new dartboard. It's called the Giraffe. Yeah, okay. Right. Those are listening again now. Matt's now playing the game. He's now amused himself beyond belief, and he won't be able to speak for about the next 5 minutes because he started giggling. When he starts giggling, believe you me, there's no stopping him. And he's got one of them infectious laughs. You know when you're with somebody and they start laughing, and then you just start laughing. You don't even know what they're laughing at, but you start laughing to the point where you're crying. Well, that's Matt. So could we have the real picture now, please, Matthew? Thank you very much. Right. This is an actual picture of my board that is up at home. This board has had 3 months worth of wear and tear on it, and it still looks brand new. Now, all I can tell you is obviously the branding's different and the sisal is different. I can't go into exactly what we've done because you never know who might be listening and watching. But all I can tell you is this could be the best dartboard that's ever been made. It's had 3 months worth of wear. And trust me, even I can hit a few treble 20s in 3 months. That is a picture that I've just taken this morning of it. So a little bit of a sneak peek there, guys, as to something that might be coming later this year. Well, that will be coming later this year. You can take it off now, Matt. Thank you to our regulars for watching, and a little bit of something that we're sharing with you there, guys, that something coming later this year going to be amazing. It's blown me away. So, yeah, a little bit of a sneak peek there. But other than that, Matt, I have got pages this week. I've got pages of comments and questions. So let's get stuck in, because a lot of them will be aimed at both of us, but a lot of them will be aimed at you. So, right, let me just have a look and see if I haven't put them in any sort of order. So we'll kick off with this one, which is from Mickey Spins. I think people get a bit mixed up with what darts aligns with in terms of sports and entertainment. The way people talk about celebrations and personalities, they would have it aligned with golf or snooker. I think PDC darts falls more into sports entertainment / WWE vibes. I think the DRA should consider that the PDC and WDF are completely different, and players should try and do something for their persona other than mimicking someone else's song. Right, so that's all pretty much in agreement with everything you said. Then at the end, he mentions somebody I don't even know who this is. The PDC should hire Jim Johnson and put out some banger entrance music and give players some aura. Who is Jim Johnson?
Don't know.
Oh. Oh, I thought because of the wrestling reference, I thought he was going to be some wrestling guy. So he's basically saying that the PDC is more like sports entertainment WWE. Would you agree with that? Or is it a bit golf and snooker?
When have you ever seen cheerleaders at the golf?
Yeah, good point.
The presentation, if you're going to present things as something, then that's what it is. The presentation tells you everything. That's what they're trying to be. You know, if you're going to have fireworks if you're going to have indoor pyro, if you're going to have flashing laser lights and cheerleaders and all this sort of thing, you're telling the viewer the product is entertainment based. It's not just a sporting battle. It is entertainment through sport. You don't get that with golf. When have you ever seen Tiger Woods go off and they set a few fireworks off and he's coming on, Tiger, whee! It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So, the presentation is telling us what it is. We don't have to make our own assumptions. We can see what it is. We're not blind. There it is. It's entertainment. So with that, yeah, it is. And the only downside right now is I think we're living in the wrong era to start something like this. Because back in the day, when WWE, WWF, WCW, EC, when all these things existed, they existed purely in the form of entertainment. Now, the biggest problem we've got is everyone, first of all, thinks they're valued to an opinion, and then they think they've also got value to voice that opinion. And they're basing that off very small bits of information or what you're seeing or what you're told to see rather than what's really going on. So, there's a classic case. There's a video and it's very edited. So you see cuts of cameras and all sorts of it. So 1 minute it's outside, then it's inside, then it says, and then there's people that take that real and they're like, I tell you one, right? I tell you what, here's a classic one. So Glenn Durant played in the Modus Super Series, right? And then he didn't get through to Saturday night, but he stayed Saturday night to do commentary with me. And I said at the start of the show, I said, right, what I want to do, I want to make this into a bit of a joke because no one knows Glenn's here right now. They think he's gone. He weren't meant to be commentating. He stood in last minute. I said, so what I want to do is start the show tight on me and the presenter, start tight on us. That's the camera, just basically us, no other background.
Yep.
I said, and what I want to do is a slow zoom out from that tight shot. And as we're doing that, it's going to slowly unveil Glenn, who's stood next to me the whole time. I said, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to be slagging him off. I'm going to be like, it was pathetic. He's meant to be a role model. You could see him giving up, like all this sort of thing. And as it's panning out, he stood behind me like, what? And then I just turn around and be like, oh, didn't even realize you was here, Glenn. No, nice to see you. I was just saying how well you were playing and like completely turn it when I realized he's there. And the comments of people that did, and I'm like, the camera was telling you everything.
Yes.
The presentation is.
Oh, they thought it was literal. They thought it was actual real.
They're like, I'm glad he caught him out on that one. Like, can you not tell by the camera work? Like, if that was real, the camera would have had us all framed up. We wouldn't have. It wouldn't have been starting framed on us, and the camera pan told everything. Yeah. So. I think sometimes with a little bit of common sense, you can sort of see these things. But I mean, let's look at Sid Waddell. This is the one I always talk about. Sid Waddell is redeemed now as an icon and a legend of the sport. If he was around in the days of social media, I guarantee there'd be a lot of different opinions. There'd be people, what's he talking about? Why can't he just talk about the darts? There'd be like all sorts of things. And it's the same now because, do you know what? We're always talking about where's the characters in the game gone. I mean, one of our guys, Daryl Fitton, if he did that nowadays, look at that silly dance he's doing. It wouldn't have. Think of all the characters. Could you imagine Eric Bristow in the world of social media?
Oh God,
who's he thinking? All everyone having a meltdown. Yeah. Oh, look at him! He's so disrespectful. Yeah, and it's also entertaining. Like,
yeah. That's right. Put bums on seats, as they say. Anyway, brilliant, Matt. Brilliant. I've got one from SC. Oh, this is an email to YouTube@missiondarts.com from SC Trident 7691. The guy's name is Jeff Griggs, dart enthusiast. He says he's from Beaufort, USA. Hello, Andy and Matt. Jeff here. Love the podcast, especially and also the Rate My Hockey series. Can't wait for series 4. Couple of questions. With the growth of our CDC and the success of the World Series at Madison Square Garden, with the ever-growing crowds, darts in America is still lagging. In your opinion, what more would grow our sport here? Is it corporate sponsorship? Is it television? Is it betting? Barry Hearn has stated America is the focus to grow the PDC. Is there any possibility the Premier League would add a future date here, say in Vegas or Chicago or Boston? So we'll answer that first, and then he's put a second question as well.
Okay, so the first one is no. They won't put a Premier League there, and that'll be down to broadcast and time zones. Because for us to get, it depends where you. So you put that in Vegas.
Yes, no good in Vegas now.
7 o'clock in Vegas is what, like 3 o'clock in the morning here in the UK.
Yeah, something crazy. Yeah,
yeah. So that wouldn't happen. The other thing is to get broadcast to the main broadcaster from another country like that. That's cost. Yeah. So we're not looking at a Premier League night. No. We could potentially look at a World Series. Like we've already got a World Series, haven't we, at Vegas, New York? But there's another possibility of others. Now, there's a reason it moved to New York, and that's because it's on the East Coast. It's the easiest one to get to. It's the shortest flight. There's a reason it's the closest to the UK, like rather than being anywhere else. Like they did Vegas, and the Las Vegas Desert Classic didn't last for that reason.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's. I think the biggest problem America's got, and it's something you can't solve, is the fact that it's so bloody big. It's too big. And with that, it's so hard to get sort of...
Well, yeah, expanding on what you've just said, there's flights in America from state to state that take longer than from America to England. Yeah. So get your head around that. You're absolutely right. We can actually get to places in America quicker than some people who live in America. So, that's how vast it is. And so you haven't got like if they said, oh, we've got 10 million dart players, they all live in New York. Great. Easy. We'll do a tour of New York. Easy. But there might be 10 million dart players, but they live in the whole area of America, which is so vast. That is, I think you're right. That is the problem currently. You might have one brilliant dart player. He lives in Florida. You got another one. He lives in Vegas. You got another one. He lives in New York. You got another one. He lives in Seattle. It's like, how do we get them four together? It's a nightmare. I think
and we look at our Rate My Hockeys, and like sometimes we'll travel 20, 30 minutes and we're like, oh God, this is ages. You've got a 30-minute drive. We've got an hour drive. But what's the distance between, if you're sat in America right now listening to this and you've got your local darts venue, what's the distance to the next darts venue of a similar type to the one you go to? How far away is that?
So you've just basically answered his second question without me asking it. He said, is there a shred of chance you two could both do a holiday here in the US to do season 5 of Rate My Hockey in the American darting venues? And then he said, thanks, keep it all coming. Look, we'd love to. Don't get me wrong. It's one of my favorite places in the world. But we'd have to find a state where there were several really good, unusual venues in the same. Well, even a state can be huge, but somewhere where we could get around. It would have to be somewhere where we could get around.
It wouldn't even be a state because we couldn't just isolate one part of America. If we was to do America, we're talking 3 to 4 weeks. We can't just do it in a week. It'd be 3 to 4 weeks. It would be one venue and then 2-3 hour flight, one venue. Because what we can't do is go back to Series 1 where we're just showing a load of venues. Yeah. We have to show the best ones. And it's got to be a fair reflection of the American darting scene. It can't just be, oh, this venue's got a board in, this got a few boards in. I think it has to be a fair reflection of what it looks like out there because there's maybe people that watch who aren't American who want to see what the American dart scene's like. Like when we do Germany, like when we do Belgium, we have to plan this in a fair reflection of what darts looks like in that area. So...
Yeah, absolutely. So get subscribing, guys. We need a few more of them before we can go and do America. But we're not going to say never.
It's a 5-figure budget.
Say never to anything.
It's 5-figure budget.
Never going to say never. Yeah. Okay. The real Tony Cox has just simply said, mission hoodie drop when? Well, as you can see, Matt and I now aren't wearing our hoodies because the weather's better and it's warmer. I've got a polo shirt on. But I'll just expand a little bit on that. They are coming. I know we wanted to get them out during the winter. It was logistically not right. Samples weren't right, etc. The last thing we're going to do is put out sub par merchandise. So hoodies and other clothing, we'll call it that, will be coming end of summer, start of the new season. So we'll just call it that, other clothing. And Matt's smiling now. I don't know whether he thinks the mission pants are coming out. I don't know.
Oh, by the way, we need to get some nice like mission T-shirts as well for us to wear on the sort of through the summer.
T-shirts,
yeah, just for like
polo shirts,
filming, like when we're on the channel and stuff in the summer. We just need some nice little T-shirts, some nice little. Was that a hint there, Matt, that you want me to get on that? Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. I get it. Summer's coming. It's going to be warm. We've got a lot of filming to do. I think we need some summer wear with some nice little T-shirts.
Right. Okay. All right. We need to get you some new shorts. Christ on my, I can't stand you wearing them denim shorts again. Right. David's, this is funny. This is just a funny that I'm reading out. David CYR 9891 has said, fair warning, Andy. Jody is unhappy. Matt is going away for the better part of a month, and she knows all she's getting on his return is bog roll and ginger nuts. That's a regular listener there. That is a regular listener that knows what you bring back from holiday.
So, yeah, true story. And I tell you what, I'm going to tell you a true story now. So she made me feel awful. So I went last year to Philadelphia, landed into New York, went down to Philadelphia, went to WrestleMania, went to the Rocky Steps, had a great trip. And came back, and I said to her, I says, I brought you something back. And she got all excited. She sat up. Oh, what? You got me all excited. And I got out a carrier bag, and I started handing her all the freebies. Here's a bar of soap. Here's the eye mask. Here's a biodegradable pen. You know, like all the bits. And she proper deflated. She was like, oh. And I've never felt so bad in my life as seeing that deflation. Like, I felt awful. Like,
oh, it wasn't a wind-up. You didn't go, oh, here's your real present. That was it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I felt awful. Like, she made me feel so bad. So
please tell me you brought her something better back from Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah.
You must have at least brought her a bottle opener or something. With welcome to Vegas.
I tell you what, right? She doesn't listen to the podcast, so I'm going to get away with this one. I'm going to get away with it. So I went to the arcade and I won some tickets, and I got her a Pokemon thing from the arcade. Bosh.
Ah. Okay. Brilliant. Okay. Yeah, nothing more to say to that. Right, Christian Brubear, who we know is a regular. Christian's been mentioned quite a few times. Got another great comment from him this week. Hi, guys. I've come up with a fantastic idea for a new darts show. It's called Darts in Their Eyes. We get Matthew Kelly out of retirement. You can be on show number 1. Tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be Jan Decker and walk out wearing a white coat. Week 2, Matt can wear a wig and be, tonight, I'm going to be Ryan Sill. I just thought that was Darts in Their Eyes. But anyway, comment of the week.
I don't want to make a game show, don't I? I want to make a darts game show. I want to do it for the Mission YouTube channel.
This comment of the week, because it made me think about a different angle to something that I've never thought of before. So this is the Darts Pirate. Whoever you are, send me an email to youtube@missiondarts.com because you've won comment of the week, and I'll send you some goodies. This is in reference to us talking about soft tip against steel tip and why steel tip's not catching on in Asia. Remember we were talking about that and how do we grow the game worldwide and blah, blah, blah. So he's put soft tip is the game in Asia, not steel tip, because they love the video game aspect of it, as Japan loves technology. I never thought of it. That's why the soft tip is so big there, because if you've played on a soft tip board, it's all flashing lights and shouting out things and video graphics. They love all that. It's not because they don't like throwing a steel tip against a steel tip board. It's the fact there's no animation that's boring to them because there is so much into video games. I never, ever thought of it like that. He's put, as a darts player in the US, I live in California. There's no tournaments run by the CDC or ADA in California. The closest tournaments we have are in Portland, Colorado, Vegas. Everything is in the Midwest, primarily the East Coast. I love that comment. I'd never considered it before. That clearly that's why soft tip is so big over there. And if you know, I'm sure you've played on a soft tip board. They are. To be honest, it's a bit too much for me. It's a bit too much noise and graphics. And when you're used to playing steel tip,
there's the shock. Remember what you was like at Rowley's?
Oh yes. Let's not go back to that one. Let's not go back to Rowley's. Oh dear, oh dear. A lot of people actually been saying after the Rate My Hockey series has finished about going back to places. I think that will have to be a series in the future where we revisit, see if they've made changes to the things that we knocked down.
I still don't get it, right? Because there was people agreeing with you in the comments of the end, or the towers, the end of the match day experience.
They didn't let you. I
Four
said
of
that.
The boards wasn't usable.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. There's no. Yep. People were massively in agreement with me.
4 out of 10
boards a harsh map.
Was unusable, and you wanted, and everyone's like, "Oh no, that's fine." All right, okay. Well, let's send you there for a tournament. And actually, possibly 5 of the boards, depending, because if you use all boards,
I think they were. I think they were picturing it like me, match day as in a Super League match day where you're only using one board, or a Pub League match day. Yeah, they weren't thinking it as a tournament match day. So I think they were thinking of it as a different. Like I was thinking if you picked the best board and used one board, it would be a great match day. So, but let's not. We don't need to argue this one again.
We don't need to argue this. We do, because there's a big but in there. And remember when I said to you about the power of understanding what you're watching? There was a clip in that video that said, blah, 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 because I've spoke to the owner. Blah, 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 because I spoke to the owner. So surely that means... And because someone even put in the comments on that, why are you judging this as a venue that hosts tournaments, not as a venue like you've judged the other ones? Because I spoke to the owner who told me that room out of the 3 rooms is the room they use for tournaments. So I judged the room against its purpose, which is the room is used for tournaments, which if that's the case, I'm not happy playing on 5 of those boards.
Well,
under the purpose of which the room is being used for, as said by the owner. If it's anything else, that's in another room. We wasn't doing the other room. We was doing that room, and that room had its issues.
Yes. Well, you've had your rant twice now, and you're still not winning. Rate My Hockey Series 4 will be coming end of the summer, and there's lots of arguing in that one too. I know there is. But we're only halfway through filming it. We've got more to film.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, that would have been interesting. Matt, that's how to make the podcast grow. Set the building on fire. Yeah, that'll go viral. We were halfway through filming a podcast and Matt's studio burnt down. Like, we get some views on that. That would be good for business. It stopped anyway. Oh, it's back.
I wonder if they're testing or something. I had an email to say the testing.
Well, we'll find out in a minute. When the smoke starts coming in and you can't breathe, we know it's not a test. Otherwise, we're all right.
So what's going on here?
Is it your room?
No.
So we've never had this before. A fire alarm going off 50 minutes into the podcast, and we don't know if it's real or not. So Matt has now disappeared. Oh.
I'm just looking out the window to see what's going on.
Is it? It's not your room then. It's somewhere else, is it?
Yeah, it's like in a block, you see. So,
well, if it goes off again, we might have to cut the podcast slightly short and make sure that you're okay. But sounds like it might have stopped, Matt. Do you think?
Yeah,
sound like it stopped. Yeah,
no one's left the building yet. So.
No, interesting one. Yeah, we don't normally get that. The fire alarm during the That's totally thrown me off that now. Anyway, so what's happening in the rest? What's happening in the rest of the world? As we're recording this, it's the last day of April. So we're well and truly, it's 24 degrees here. I don't know about where you are. So we're well and truly into summer. Oh, spring, summer now. It's lovely. It's great. Matt and I have finally taken our hoodies off. Feels like we've not had them on for about 9 months. It's been freezing. Finally taking our hoodies off. Matt wants some summer merch, so I'll have to get on with that, see if I can organise some T-shirts. Although we have still got these polo shirts. You know, the ones that we ordered, the sizes were about 3 sizes too big. Do you remember that? Have you gone?
Yeah, it was.
You are still here.
I couldn't wear those. I was like, the second
and you promised everybody last week there was a game for me this week. What was it? Guess the fire alarm. Like, where's my game? Everybody's waiting for the game that you promised me this week, Matt. Did you forget to do it?
Okay, hang on.
Busy.
Right, we'll do a game. We'll do a game. Right, hang on.
Look at that. I put him right on the spot. Oh. No. Now what we're doing? Now we're seeing his dartboard. What is it? Oh. Guess what score you're going to get? What is it? We've never done this before.
I have not. Hang on. I haven't thrown darts for quite a while, so this could be anything.
This is a really good game for our audio listeners who now have got no clue what's going on. Oh, and the fire alarm!
What's going on here?
This is the weirdest end to a podcast I think we've ever had. I hope that it's not coming through on your speakers at home as loud as that was in my earphones. So if it was guess the score, it looks like he scored 60, I think.
45, higher or lower? 40.
Well, I would hope higher. So he's thrown 3 darts and we're in his studio. He scored 45. So I've gone higher. Oh, that looks like it's close. Oh, that looks better, Matt.
100.
100. And you haven't thrown a dart for 3 months.
3 months, higher or lower?
Oh, definitely lower. There's no way you're going higher than 100 when you haven't thrown in 3 months. By the way, when I go down to the studio, we're going to do lots of filming. Matt and I are going to do a live. So there'll be some live chat going on. We're going to do lots of TikTok shorts, and we're also going to do some playing content that people have been asking for. So loads and loads of stuff to look forward to there coming up.
Right. Everyone join in on this one. My favourite double in the world is 88. I'm going to throw 9 darts. How many am I going to hit? What's going on? 9 darts at 88. Go on, what we're going for?
You won't get more than 3. Because you haven't been playing.
In the comment section, guys. And I've not even had the comment. And I've not even
and also get in the comments if you'd like to see a bit of live darts, me and Matt playing. It might be quite. I don't know whether it'd be as good as watching the Premier League, but it might be interesting. Did you get any? No. 3 darts thrown. He hasn't hit any. But yeah, get in the comments if you want to see some live footage of Matt and I playing some darts. We might even get some special guests on. No idea what he's doing now, but he's probably just fallen over his hockey that he hasn't finished building.
Yeah, 1 so far.
So you've hit 1 88 in 6 darts.
Yeah.
So my guess of 3 is probably not far off.
It's 2.
That's 2. Yeah, I can see that's in. Just about.
3.
That's 3. Will you get to 4? No. So there you go. I got it absolutely spot on. I've won again. That was Andy's game for the week, and I've won. I picked exactly the right number of 88. So I think on that, Matt, before the fire alarm goes off again, sign out. I think there's lots of things for people to comment about this week.
Do you know what, right? Like, this is like, I'm even going to show you out my window. Look.
Is there a fire engine?
No, hang on. Is it going to focus in? See if it's. I don't think it's going to focus or the light change.
You got the blinds drawn because it's a bit tricky to see through the blinds, Matt. But look, all I can see is
I can't show you. Come on, no, can't show you.
What were you trying to show us?
There's a police car just pulled someone over on the roundabout, so it's all kicking off.
Huh?
Like,
oh right, well.
2 ambulances are now going past. It's all kicking off. Fire alarm.
Maybe next week's, but yeah,
police cars like.
Next week's podcast will report back as to what actually happened and whether Matt's building was burned down. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you're subscribed. We will see you next week for episode 39. It's been a pleasure having your company as always, Matt. Catch you next week.